here. So the coroner's report came out, I think, about a week ago, and quite shocking to see the data that came from it, and also just seeing how much, like in the times of COVID and stuff, and COVID-19, of just how overdose death rates went up, and it's upsetting to see, especially since they rolled out the safe supply and stuff like that, but the numbers are still increased. And then we're only like 6 months into 2020, and we've already had 554 known OD deaths, and that's upsetting. It's actually really upsetting, especially knowing that May was hit with the hardest, because May we had 170 deaths, OD deaths, and that's heartbreaking, because it's knowing that the drug supply right now is contaminated, but also knowing that in COVID-19 times, that drugs are also expensive. Like, illicit drugs are expensive. There's also a different supply out there where it's either, like, it's scary to even go out and buy, like, you're chancing it. You're really chancing it now. You're, like, spinning the barrel of the gun, and you're like, oh, hope the bullet doesn't hit me, because, like, crystal meth has fentanyl in it, cocaine has fentanyl in it, crack has fentanyl in it, and it's sad, because it's some people, and that's gonna kill some people, and that's not okay. Like, the safe supply measures they put out are good, but they're not working as well, because not everyone has access to them, because there's still restrictions to them. There's still a lot of finding a doctor that's willing to prescribe certain things and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, I managed, like, with my safe supply, I managed to still have my nurse practitioner, but also getting someone that's able to prescribe me my safe supply, but able to go to the dosing that I want and the dosing that I need, because they understand it a lot better. And my doctor, like, admittedly told me that she doesn't trust herself, and she doesn't know enough yet, because there is no data out there about people using dextrogen in terms of meth use. So she told me that I can find another doctor or prescriber that would be able to do that. So that's what I did, and so tomorrow I'll be able to talk to a doctor, and hopefully I'll be able to get a higher dosage in my prescription, because that's what I'm needing. Is like, usually I'll save, what I'm doing right now is saving a week of medication and just using illicit, and then that week after I'll try and just use a bit of illicit, and then a little bit of street meth, and then just taking the pills. So I'm able to do it like 60 to 100 milligrams instead of just doing the straight 40, because the 40 just doesn't feel right for me, and it's just not the right dose. So I feel like I'm having to save up my medication is also really stressful too, because it's like I'm having to use illicit and having to know that fentanyl could be in that. Like, I do test my drugs now, but a lot more now, but it's still scary, because it's real. And admittedly, I gotta say that, like, I went and did a urine test recently, and apparently fentanyl was in my system, so that kind of is scary. It's frightening to know that, because I'm not a down, like, I don't use down, as people call it, at all, and knowing that fentanyl's in my system, it's like, I don't know, it's frightening. It really is frightening. But also reading the coroner's report and seeing that the numbers increased, like, quite a bit. Like, it was a 93% increase from last year. They only had 88 deaths in May last year. In this May, we had 170. And that's known cases of OD deaths, illicit drug toxicity deaths, or whatever it's called. And then, what else is there? So in May 2020, it equates to about 5.5 deaths per day. 5.5 deaths per day. Deaths in 2020, it equates to 3.6 deaths per day for the year. And also knowing that, because like with in COVID and stuff like that, we've asked people to. I mean, the government was asking people to be social distance and stuff like that. So a lot of people that were told before to like not use alone and stuff, use with a buddy. It was really not mixed messaging, but really damaging messaging because people were like, well, I can't have a friend over, and also because like a lot of housing too did not have guests or had these they banned guests and have no guests coming over. So like if someone uses with their friend a lot and now they can't come over, it's like that puts them at risk for an overdose death. And even overdose prevention sites, some of the prevention sites were closed down, and now there's only just a few that were open. But even then, there was limited booths available. There was no waiting room. There was hours um were limited too. Like, and that's, I don't know. It's heartbreaking, and it's also just really fucked up that this happened, and well, that we've had an increase in deaths this year because it's hard to grieve when we lose so many people, and it's hard to be able to even process it because it's just, oh, another person's gone, and it's just hard to really process it because it's just tomorrow's gonna bring, maybe we'll bring another person that you knew or you worked with or something like that, and it's fucked up.